Hello, welcome back to my channel, and thank you so much for being here. Make sure to hit the subscribe if you haven't, and maybe get your money out, consider donating, because, maybe you want to help a disabled, maybe you want to help the arts, maybe you're feeling generous, maybe you want to do good in the world. That's awesome. Sorry if you hear air conditioning, it's too hot in Florida to turn it off, and I am kind of testing this because I have a voiceover audition, and I want to make sure that if I'm going to have to turn it off for that, and, I don't always make money on these things, so if you want me to start going super duper on the quality, help me give me money to do that. Thank you. Anyway, we're going to talk about I think it's called the Big Five personality test. They just look at 5 factors of personality in detail. For each factor, they'll explain how high and low scores manifest in daily life, and I'll see my own scores on each dimension and how they compare with the average score for all of the people who took the test. So the first one is openness, which I knew I was going to score high on. Anyway, my score was 85, and the average is 58%. And openness describes an individual's tendency to think in complex, abstract ways. People who are high in openness are abstract thinkers, while people who are low in openness are concrete thinkers. So I am an abstract thinker. And most people are about halfway in between. It looks like maybe a little bit more abstract than concrete. So people who are high in openness, which is me, we're very comfortable with abstract ideas. We enjoy talking and thinking about theories and concepts, even if the concepts are unproven. They appreciate creative, original, and innovative ideas and enjoy thinking about the future and what it might hold. Because they appreciate ideas for their own sake, they usually enjoy the arts and other cultural pursuits. They are interested in having experiences that expand their minds and encourage them to think about things in a new way. So yeah, that's definitely, me, I love the arts. I'm just a huge lover of that. People who are low in openness, however, are usually concrete, straightforward thinkers. They distrust ideas and theories, and they distrust ideas and theories that do not have practical real-world applications. They prefer tradition and conventional ways over new, untested ideas. They are more realistic than creative and often have difficulty imagining things that they have not personally experienced. Because of this, they may be uninterested in trying new experiences, preferring instead to stick with what they know. Yeah, so which one are you? Which one are you, dear listener, viewers? Are you somebody who is more concrete and wants practical real-world application, or are you like me, artistic and just enjoying in the pleasure of thought and being silly? So people high in openness, which is me, are creative, unconventional, imaginative, original, artistic, and people low in openness are practical, traditional, conventional, conservative, habitual. Interesting. I wonder where my boyfriend is on this. I almost kind of feel like he's low in openness, but maybe I'm wrong. I'm going to go into the science of openness. Although little is known about how openness might relate to our biology, scientists have theorized that this personality trait has to do with how the brain is networked. Even brains have to network, so if you don't like networking, it's because your brain is so tired from networking. Anyway, according to the prevailing theory, people who are low in openness have brains where tasks and concepts are kept relatively distinct. One concept is considered in isolation and does not lead to connections to other concepts. In contrast, people high in openness, which is me, have highly networked brains. Asking them to think about one concept touches off a web of activation in the brain, leading them to think about many loosely associated concepts as well. This is so me. I talk about like 7 subjects at once. One study related openness to the brain's default network, the term used to describe what the brain is doing when not actively focused on a task. Activities of the default network include daydreaming and letting the mind wander. Researchers at Harvard University showed that in people high in openness, the default network is more efficient at processing information. This suggests that when their minds are in a state of wakeful rest, they are more apt to make conceptual connections and associations. I definitely do daydream a lot. I try not to, but it's hard because I guess that's my little brain's default state. As a person high in openness, I am more able than the average person to connect seemingly unrelated concepts. This makes me more creative and imaginative than average, and more likely to appreciate unusual ideas. Because I am high in openness, I am more likely to appreciate art, music, and various cultural activities. I may notice that I am more interested in such things than the average person. My mind is better able to process loosely connected ideas, and I'm much more apt to appreciate, say, a sculpture of an elephant built out of forks. That sounds amazing. I am actually appreciating that. While many people would find such a thing bizarre, you enjoy considering the meaning of things and working to understand how seemingly unrelated ideas might be connected. People high in openness tend to have an interest in novel ideas and are more so likely to be politically progressive. However, openness does not always correlate with a liberal stance. People high in openness might equally be drawn to libertarianism, for instance, as a novel political ideology. A very high degree of openness has been shown to correlate with experiences of unusual phenomena, including, wait for it, hallucinations, extrasensatory perceptions, and a belief in magic or the supernatural. Interesting. I don't know where I fall on my belief in magic. I don't believe in energy channeling, but I don't believe in like Harry Potter magic necessarily, but I do believe that you can tap into the power of the universe and make it work for you. Sorry if that's a lot. I've definitely like hallucinated on drugs, and I'm definitely extrasensatory for sure. I feel like I feel things at an extreme, and I always have. And sometimes I wish it would stop. It's a lot, and other people are just more chill. I don't know. Although not everyone who is high in openness will have such experiences, as a person with a high degree of this trait, you are more likely to feel the mysterious forces of the universe at work. Conscientiousness. Conscientiousness describes a person's tendency to be persistent and determined in achieving their goals. People who are high in conscientiousness tend to work hard to put their plans into action, while people who are low in this trait tend to change course and get distracted easily. So the average is like 55. It feels like people can't commit to either or maybe that's just like, I don't know. But I'm 52, so I'm low when I change course and get distracted easily, which is unfortunately a little true. Yeah. I mean, I feel like I'm hardworking, but I definitely there's so much I want to do, and I get easily distracted by all that. Anyway, it says, highly conscientious people are hardworking and responsible. They have a high degree of willpower and resist temptation and distraction to stay focused on their goals. Conscientious people are able to delay gratification, doing things that are difficult or boring in the moment in order to work towards a long-term achievement. They tend to be orderly, organized, and reliable. Sorry, that's not me. Sorry, I wish it was. People who are low in conscientiousness are less interested in long-term goals and more interested in responding to the moment. I think this is pretty true. I have, like, I don't know, when I was focused on the future, it was making the moment so hard, and it was giving me, like, a lot of anxiety, and I wasn't enjoying it. So I think I just was like, and I just started thinking, like, you never have any day guaranteed, although it is, like, killing me in the capitalistic structure of America. But, you don't have every day guaranteed, so I wanted to just be enjoying more of my present moment. But anyway, they are fun-loving, hardworking, and are easily distracted. They're more fun-loving than hardworking and are easily distracted. People low in conscientiousness tend to abandon plans easily when something more attractive arises. This is definitely me. They are often disorganized and go about tasks in a haphazard manner. I'm guilty. People high in conscientiousness are orderly, dependable, determined, ambitious, dutiful. People low in conscientiousness are spontaneous, adaptable, impulsive, disorganized, haphazard. The science of conscientiousness. Conscientiousness seems to be fundamentally related to impulse control, or the ability to stop ourselves from doing what might be fun or appealing in the moment in order to pursue a more important long-term goal. We often refer to this as willpower in everyday language. I love that my willpower is so low. It used to be really high when I was a child, I feel like, but I was miserable then, so... Impulse control is associated with the frontal lobe of the brain, where our highest levels of thinking take place. The frontal lobes govern high-level planning, problem-solving judgment, and other important cognitive abilities. The frontal lobes are part of the brain that make us uniquely human. They take the more animalistic impulses set by the rest of the brain, there's food here, eat it, and modulate them to suit our more complex plans and goals. I'm not going to eat this donut because I'm trying to lose weight. Yeah, weight loss has been so hard for me. It's good to know that I'm not even biologically wired. In one brain imaging study, people high in conscientiousness showed a higher level of activation in the frontal lobes when doing a task that required them to control their behavior. This suggests that the brain areas that are responsible for controlling impulses are more active in people high in conscientiousness. Where you fit in? Oh, I'm like moderate, I guess. I guess I'm not as low. Because you are moderate in conscientiousness, you can assume that you have about as much self-control as the average person. Oh, that's good to know. I'm normal? What is this? You're probably fairly good at following through with your plans, although you are occasionally distracted and can sometimes make impulsive decisions. All right, yeah, that sounds more like me. Because I would say that I am pretty hardworking, which probably balances out. I'm both hardworking and impulsive, and will change at the last minute. Your level of personal organization is likely to be average. I honestly feel like I'm less organized, and I think part of that is just due to trauma that I'm trying to keep up, but I'm getting better at it. Like I'm teaching myself organization because I know how helpful it is. You probably keep some areas of your life in better order than others. You may make a special effort to be organized at work where it is more crucial, while letting yourself slack a bit at home. I work from home, so it's a little bit of everything. But since moving in with my boyfriend, I'm definitely more organized. Because I needed the pressure. I need the pressure and expectation of another person, you know? An average amount of disorder does not bother you, although you may feel disconcerted if your surroundings are in total disarray. I usually don't mind. I know I probably should, but I don't. And yeah, I wish I could explain more. You may benefit from using organizational systems and tools to impose more structure on the way you do things. I definitely would benefit. I'm fairly careful and cautious in making decisions, and usually do not make very poor or impulsive choices. I would say, for the most part, yeah. You may generally consider the pros and cons of a decision before going forward, although sometimes you just go with your gut. That's very true. You are somewhat goal-oriented in your life. You set a moderate number of goals for yourself, and you are fairly determined in pursuing them. You may abandon goals which seem too difficult to achieve, or which you lose interest in over time. However, when something is important to you, you are able to muster the persistence to keep at it. I think that's true. My goals have definitely changed over time, and I definitely used the pandemic to get like more serious about what I wanted to do, you know, like it's kind of a life and death situation, and I decided, all right, let's like get serious. Let's make the most of my life. All right, extraversion. Extraversion describes a person's tendency to be energized by being around other people versus being by oneself. Oh my god, my friend Cameron is going to love this result. Extroverts are energized by socializing with others, while introverts, people low in extraversion, are energized by spending time alone. My score is 62.5 and the average is 51. So, okay, Cameron, you won. I have extraversion. But I also feel like I don't, because I feel like I need to recharge by being alone. I don't know. Things have like switched where it's like I value other people, but I get like overwhelmed and overloaded sometimes. Highly extroverted people are outgoing, energetic, and friendly. They enjoy stimulation from other people and their environment, and they gravitate to busy and active places. They express themselves easily and like to talk. That's very true. I do like to talk, and I try to express myself pretty easy. It used to be way harder. I would say I'm pretty energetic and friendly. I don't know that I'm necessarily outgoing. I'm working on it. I don't know that I enjoy actually the stimulation from other people or gravitate to busy or active places. That actually does not sound so much like me. Extroverts are enthusiastic about life and describe their experiences with colorful expressions of positive emotion. Yeah, I try to. I think even when I'm talking about a negative experience, I express it with positive emotion or like colorfulness. Introverted people are reserved, calm, and low-key. They are easily overstimulated and avoid busy and noisy environments, as they can often find them to be overwhelming. See, that's me. Like, I feel like that's the part of it. I'm probably not low-key. I'm probably not reserved or calm most of the time, so that does disqualify me from introverting. They often find it difficult to express themselves and may prefer others to do the talking. Honestly, I do like when others do the talking over me. They are generally placid and not easily excited. People high in extroversion are enthusiastic, energetic, excitable, friendly, gregarious. People low in extroversion are reserved, calm, aloof, introspective, quiet. The science of extroversion. The fundamental basis of the trait of extroversion appears to be the tendency to experience positive emotions. Highly extroverted people feel more positive emotions with more intensity and more often. That's probably true now. In one brain imaging study, happy images like puppies and ice cream were shown to people with varying levels of extroversion. The highly extroverted subjects showed more activation in areas of the brain associated with positive emotions, showing that their brains were more responsive to happy stimuli. The sad introverts. But that's the thing too, is like extroversion helped me more out of my depression. Then introversion, like that was the thing. That's so wild that there's science to it. But yeah, which one are you? Are you more conscientious than not? Are you more extroverted than not? Let me know in the comments. On a chemical level, extroversion appears to be associated with the neurotransmitter dopamine. Dopamine is sometimes called the reward chemical because it is associated with behavior that leads us to seek rewards like attention, status, power, or pleasure. Highly extroverted people appear to have an enhanced response to dopamine in the brain, making them more motivated to pursue rewards and more satisfied when they achieve them. People low in extroversion appear to get less of a thrill out of positive experiences and are thus more interested in spending a lot of energy chasing them. Oh, it sounds like it's really, really tough to be all introvert. I would say yeah, and I think that's why, like, if I get depressed, like, hard, when it's, like, harder to find, I don't know, like, a reason to go on, and, like, I do think I get a lot of reward from getting rewarded, you know, so I am very motivated when it comes to that, because it gives me, like, the most satisfaction. Sometimes I wish that I didn't care so much about that, though, because it might be easier to be more calm than energized. Where I fit in. As a highly extroverted person, I am enthusiastic about life and what it has to offer. Honestly, that's so positive for somebody who's struggled with suicide ideation, so I'm just going to take a moment to, like, honor that, and I'm very excited. I see the world as full of potential joys and thrills and are eager to pursue them. Yeah, that's true. I experience more positive emotions than the average person. Aw, that's kind of cool. Happiness, joy, excitement, and enthusiasm all come to you more readily than they do most. As a result, you feel the ups of life especially keenly. Well, that's good to know. That's a good thing to take away and put in my pocket for a rainy day, that all of that comes from me. It feels like a great, like, manifestation too, of, like, happiness, joy, and excitement and enthusiasm come to me more readily. Like, that's amazing. So cool. Because I am so readily moved by positive emotions, I am particularly interested in achieving successes that are likely to bring me happiness or excitement. Yeah, that's very true. When I win a prize, either literally or metaphorically, I truly get a thrill out of the experience. So true. Fingers crossed for this talk show that could potentially be in development with Upworthy. I'm just saying it, speaking into existence, because why not? As a result, I am particularly motivated to win in the game of life. Yeah. Here we go. I may dream of fame, fortune, power, popularity, and adventure. Whatever I anticipate will give me a feeling of accomplishment. Yeah, I pretty much dream for all of that. Maybe I should chill. Social rewards are particularly important for me as an extroverted person. I enjoy feeling respected, admired, and sought after by others. I really do, and I rarely am, because I'm silly and not, like, conventionally beautiful, you know. I am willing to spend a significant amount of energy improving my social status so that other people will take notice and appreciate me. Oh, it's so true. It shouldn't matter, but it's me. Agreeableness. Agreeableness describes an individual's tendency to put the needs of others ahead of their own needs. Highly agreeable people are most concerned with getting along with others. People low in agreeableness are mostly concerned with serving their own interests. So my score was 67 and the average is 63. So most people want to be agreeable, it seems, which is nice. Doesn't always feel that way in our society today, does it? Highly agreeable people are sympathetic, cooperative, accommodating. They usually want to get along with other people more than they want to achieve their own individual goals. So they are willing to compromise and help others. They are altruistic and may spend a significant time and energy helping other people. I kind of like this. This is so pure. People who are low in agreeableness, this is like Marcy all the way, I'm going to tell you. My cat Marcy is low in agreeableness, are competitive and self-interested. They do not care about getting along with the group and are willing to upset others to pursue their own goals. Man, this is the most Marcy thing ever. They are disinterested in compromise. So true. Oh my gosh. And do not get satisfaction out of helping others selflessly. They prefer to feel that they have come out on top. People high in agreeableness are accommodating, helpful, sympathetic, selfless, altruistic. People low in agreeableness are competitive, argumentative, self-interested, rational, brash. Wow. That was very much a Marcy on that unagreeableness. I would say that I try to be very accommodating, helpful, sympathetic, and selfless and altruistic. Yeah. I've honestly been working on being more selfish because I've been taken advantage of, but now after, like, getting reinvigorated about going into mental health, I'm like, oh yeah, we should help out more. The science of agreeableness. Agreeableness is very closely related to empathy, or the ability to understand and feel another person's emotions. Highly agreeable people are highly empathetic and naturally identify with the emotional experiences of others. Empathy can be defined as the mirroring of another person's emotions in one's own mind. Highly agreeable people experience this mirroring to a larger degree than other people. They generally feel sadness when they see someone crying, or get a boost to their own mood when watching someone laugh. As a consequence, highly agreeable people find it especially rewarding to help others. They feel the echo of any positive feelings that they are able to bring to someone else. People low in agreeableness, on the other hand, do not feel a personal boost from bringing happiness to others, and consequently are less willing to put their energy into being helpful or altruistic. Agreeableness has to do with two aspects of what is often termed emotional intelligence. Specifically, to be highly agreeable, a person must be able to both conceptualize the emotions of others, understand how they might feel, what their concerns and priorities might be, and prioritize another person's feelings in their decision making. In short, they must both be aware and concerned about the feelings of others. You are moderate in agreeableness and feel an average amount of empathy for others. You generally have a sense of what others are feeling and show about as much concern as a typical person. As a person who is moderately agreeable, I am moderate in agreeableness and feel an average amount of empathy for others. I generally have a sense of what others are feeling and show about as much concern as a typical person. As a person who is moderately agreeable, I am probably more compassionate in some situations than others. I may care mostly about people who are close to me, family members, friends, and perhaps people in my immediate community. People who I do not know, or people very removed from me, for instance, people in other countries, may not attract much of my attention. That's probably true, yeah. It's a hard time processing other people in other countries, even though I know they exist, and I don't know, I still feel like I'm wishing them well. Or you may feel more compassion in situations of extreme suffering while being less concerned about the everyday problems of others. Because you're moderate in agreeableness, when your needs are in conflict with the needs of others, you weigh both sides equally. You are rarely willing to completely give up your agenda in favor of another person's, but neither do you want to completely overpower the negotiation. Yeah, I definitely would say that that's pretty me. I think part of that stems from like being in abusive situations where I gave up all my power. I am now and forevermore being like, I have a say. Sorry. I have a say because no one should go through that. Or actually, hey, how do you guys think that you're agreeable? Moderate? You think you're super agreeable, less agreeable? Let me know. Neuroticism. Neuroticism describes an individual's response to stress. Highly neurotic people, oh gee, I wonder which one I'm going to be. Highly neurotic people are susceptible to anxiety, depression, anger, and other negative emotions when subjected to stressful conditions. People low in neuroticism resist stress and tend not to experience many negative emotions. I had 62.5 and the average is 54%, so I'm a little more neurotic than the average person. What a surprise. Highly neurotic people struggle with negative emotions. They frequently feel anger, sadness, anxiety, self-consciousness, and other difficult feelings. They tend to be more vulnerable to stressors and less able to overcome problematic situations. They doubt their abilities and feel uncomfortable with themselves. Oh, so sad. People who are low in neuroticism are resilient and do not react easily to stress. They experience few negative emotions and cope well when life is difficult. They easily overcome stressful situations to get back on track. They are not often sad, angry, or depressed and generally feel confident in themselves. I feel like this is my boyfriend for sure. People high in neuroticism are vulnerable, unstable, anxious, moody, self-conscious. People low in neuroticism are stable, resilient, optimistic, self-confident, carefree. The science of neuroticism. Neuroticism can be thought of as the corollary to extraversion, where extraversion describes the frequency and depth of positive emotions. Neuroticism describes a person's tendency to experience negative emotions like fear, anxiety, sadness, anger, and worthlessness. Studies have demonstrated that people who are high in neuroticism have a more dramatic response to negative stimuli. Their brains become more activated for longer periods of time when they are shown something sad, frightening, or distasteful. Neuroticism has to do with what can be thought of as the alert system of the brain. All of us need to be able to recognize danger and anticipate negative outcomes, but we vary in terms of how sensitive our personal alarm systems are. People high in neuroticism are especially vigilant to the possibility of bad things happening. People who are low in neuroticism are more likely to brush off danger signals, assuming that things will probably turn out just fine. Although neuroticism describes a personality trait, not a mental health diagnosis, people high in neuroticism are nonetheless more likely to be diagnosed with disorders such as anxiety or depression. People low in this trait are more likely to recover easily from life stressors and avoid developing mental health conditions. Where I fit in. As a person who is moderate in neuroticism, my stress response is typical of the average person. I experience anxiety, sadness, and self-consciousness about as much as most people do. Because I am moderate in neuroticism, I am reasonably aware of danger signals in my environment. I am alert to signs that I am being threatened or rejected, but I do not overreact to such cues. I think that's probably true. I've always thought that I overreacted, so this is kind of comforting. Socially, you may sometimes worry you're not coming off well to other people. Yeah, I worry about that a lot. But these worries do not interfere with my ability to enjoy relating to others. I have an average reaction to stress, and I may suffer when in very stressful situations. I absolutely do suffer so much. Although I need to be especially vigilant about avoiding normal amounts of stress, I should not assume that I can withstand highly stressful circumstances. I can't. When faced with particularly challenging times, I'm about as likely to develop anxiety or depression as the average person. And I've been faced with them, so whoops. My personality traits interact to create unique patterns of thought and behavior. In this section, I'll learn how my traits create key synergies that drive the way I think and live. To describe my personality patterns, they use a circular graph called a circumplex. The circumplex is used by psychologists to illustrate how two traits intersect to create a more complex patterns of thought and behavior. Each circumplex has 4 sections, with each section describing a typical pattern. The area of each section shows how well that pattern describes you. A larger area indicates a better fit for that person. Some of my circumplex graphs will show a clear preference for one pattern. Others will show an even more spread over 2 or 3 patterns. Where I have nearly equal scores for 2 or more patterns, I can expect to see that both patterns may describe me equally well. Core pattern. The circumplex describes the essential role I take on approaching the world. This role is a reflection of my core values and motivations, as well as the way I think about things. So I scored very highly on the empathetic idealist. I use insight and creativity to help others. I think about how the world could be a better and more beautiful place. Yeah, that sounds like me. I didn't get a lot for practical caretaker, but that's this one. Maybe you're this. Let me know in the comments. Helps people in a practical, everyday ways. Uses established intuitions to maintain stability and security. Yeah, that's not really me at all. Analytical thinker was my second one, and I had a pretty decent amount. Like, my empathetic one is like super full, but this one is just like missing, like, I would say like an 1/8 of it. So I solve logical problems with rational, complex analysis. I think about innovative ways to improve systems. Oh yeah, I do that. That's amazing. Well, my logic mechanic though is super, super low, like very, very tiny, the littlest drop. Here's what a logical mechanic does. I didn't really score for this, but maybe this is you. Let me know in the comments. Ensures an accuracy and efficiency in logical systems. Uses proven methods to accomplish real-world goals. Yeah. I don't even understand that, I feel like, fully. This is the interpersonal pattern. The circumplex describes the style I use in relating to others. This style governs the way I socialize and develop relationships. Social butterfly, I got just as big as empathetic thinker, which is kind of wild to think about because I've never really described myself that way. But I am friendly and amiable. I love people and I approach them without hesitation. That's so funny. I feel like my anxiety actually makes me hesitate a lot, but that might be like trauma informed. My next one that I got is the next one as well. It's about the same. It's honestly a little bit more, I think, than the other one. But I got sympathetic ear, gentle and kind, tends to be quiet and appreciate close, supportive relationships. I don't know that I tend to be quiet, but I definitely try to be gentle and kind, and I do appreciate close, supportive relationships. So my third one, which was also pretty high, it's actually not that far off from sympathetic ear, commanding leader, takes command of situations with a blunt, dominant style, likes to be in charge. I don't know if I like to be in charge, but I definitely, when I take command, it is blunt, baby. And then my littlest one, which is not a lot, but still more than like my last little one, is aloof thinker. Maintains independence and distance for others. Selective about relationships. Yeah, that's not super me. I feel like I can be selective about relationships, but I'm not super. Now here's my social pattern. This circumplex describes how I position myself in relationships to social groups. My pattern shows how I feel I fit in within the larger society. Gleeful rebellion. This is my second one that is the most, which is very, very fun. I actually love this. I feel like that is honestly the best way to describe my acting. Enjoys a feeling of uniqueness, embraces alternative cultures, and takes pleasure in being different, like showing individuality. Yeah, I think that's true. I mean, I don't always feel like I take pleasure in being different, but I like when somebody compliments me on being unique, because it's like nice. It's nice to be seen. But I feel no shame. Like sometimes I wish I blended in more with others, you know? My next one, that was my biggest one, is anxious alienation. I feel a sense of being uncomfortably different. I rarely meet others with common interest. I often feel alienated and excluded from society. This is so true. Yeah, so these are my second two. My EB is like super, super little, and that one stands for this one is like the least that I got. So I do not feel like this way, but maybe you do, so let me know in the comments. Easy belonging. Feels a sense of belonging in social circles. Enjoys being surrounded by similar people and fitting in. Easily finds commonality with others. Yeah, I barely do this. And then safety in numbers was my third one. It still also wasn't very big, but it was like at least 3 times as easy belonging. Like I definitely do not feel like I easily belong. Safety in numbers. Seeks stability and belonging. Wants to feel similar to others to ease anxiety. Takes comfort in traditional institutions. Yeah, see, I think I got even a little bit amount of this one because I want to feel similar in others, because that does ease my anxiety, because it's hard to be different all the time. So this is my communication pattern. They didn't really give me a circumflex on this one, so that's a little bit weird, or I guess maybe I didn't snap the picture, but I think I'll be able to probably say what I feel like. So sorry I don't have the actual circumflex group, but just I think I'll be able to figure out. So communication pattern. This circumflex describes how you communicate your thoughts, experiences, and ideas to others. Your pattern reflects the information you chose to communicate as well as your style in doing so. So shared vision. Enjoys expressing ideas and vision. Loves to brainstorm and discuss possibilities. Tends to focus on future goals and abstract ideas. I do feel like I probably scored very high in shared vision. Thoughtful insight. Thinks deeply before speaking. Thoughtfully shares insights once they have been carefully considered. Tends to focus on interpretations. I feel like this is probably like a lesser one, probably like one of my third ones, because I could think deeper before I speak. It's not that I don't think deeply, I just think fast, but I think sometimes I could be a little bit more. It's not that I don't thoughtfully share, but I could always be better. Open lines. Freely communicates to keep everyone informed. Recounts events, shares information, and compares experiences with others. I would say, honestly, then I would say that the one before was more of this one than that, because I feel like I do like to keep everyone informed, but it's not always easy for me because I have to like think about it more. Or actually, no, I would say open lines is probably more than the other one, because I usually am a person that just like, I'll like listen to other people's experiences and I don't super overthink it. Like I could be more thoughtful in my responses. So I think I am more of a freely communicator than like overthinker communicator. And then I think this is probably my lesser one, is concise facts. So communicates when necessary to convey specific information. Dislikes talking for the sake of talking. Keeps discussions to essential facts. Yeah, that's not super me. So yeah, I definitely think I'm the abstract one the most. Emotional pattern. This circumflex describes your pattern of emotional experiences, specifically the emotions that are often part of your experience of life. So here we go. So mostly sunny, I actually did get almost even to mostly gloomy, which is interesting. So mostly sunny tends to be mostly happy and content, shrugs off stress and easily finds things to look forward to. Most emotional experiences are positive. So that's kind of good that I have like a balance of that. That's my second. But this is the one that I got the most. Full spectrum. Feels a range of emotions, from burst of pure joy to the deepest sadness. Moods change easily and emotions are a central part of life. Yeah, that's very true. I don't think my moods change as easily. They have to be like affected by something, but like I can be easily affected for sure. Even keel was my lowest one, but it still wasn't pretty low. It was like meh. I guess I'm a very emotional person, obviously. So mostly calm and placid, experiencing few emotional spikes. Is rarely either very happy or very sad. Emotions do not play a large part in the experience. So yeah, I would say, yeah, this is definitely, I am surprised I even got as high as I did on this. Mostly gloomy was about as equally as mostly sunny, which I think is very funny, which I guess adds into the full spectrum. But tends to be somewhat glum, rarely feels strong positive emotions like joy or excitement. easily becomes anxious, sad, and or angry. And I think part of that too is that I probably, had I taken this test when I was younger, I would have scored probably mostly gloomy, and that I've been working on my thoughts, and now there's like a balance in honoring my past but having an optimistic future. Motivation pattern. This circumflex describes how I get and stay motivated. My pattern reflects what drives me to take action and work towards my goals. So confident drive, I got like just a little bit more than my least one. And it's still a pretty decent amount. It's about what I was in like mostly sunny and happy. So confident drive. Enjoys chasing goals and realizing successes. Confident in own potential to achieve. Works hard and expects accomplishment. Yeah, I would say that's me. This one I got a bunch of. Oh, yeah, this one was my most one, unfortunately. Anxious diligence. Highly motivated to achieve goals and avoid errors. Tendency to overwork. Feels relief when projects are completed correctly. Yeah. Carefree fun was my least, but it's about the same as confident drive. It's not that far off. Carefree fun. Prefers to avoid responsibility and enjoy life. Tends to abandon difficult problems when alternatives appear. Feels little pressure to work. So yeah, I think where I scored lower in that is like I definitely feel pressure to work. And I can abandon difficult projects when easy alternatives appear, but I don't feel like I avoid some responsibilities and I try to enjoy life, but it's not all the time. My second one that I got was scattered anxiety. Has a difficult time focusing on work and staying motivated. Tends to worry about outcomes and has a hard time getting started. Yeah, and I definitely feel like that is something that I struggle with. It's interesting that I've never really thought of anxiety as motivating. It honestly has always felt crippling to me, so this is kind of a interesting reframe. Productivity pattern. This circumflex describes my style in approaching tasks and activities. My pattern shows which tasks are more likely to attract my attention and effort. So grand plans was my biggest one. I have big, innovative ideas and formulates plans to put those ideas in action. Persistent in chasing even the most ambitious goals. Yay, that's me. And then my second one was this one. Bright ideas. Most excited when exploring ideas and possibilities. Less interested in taking action. Like starting projects more than finishing them. Yeah, I feel like I honestly am more interested in finishing projects, and so that's why I think I scored lower. And I'm definitely interested in taking action, but I do love, and I think I am most excited when I'm exploring ideas and possibilities and dreaming. Reliable results was littler, barely more than my lowest score. Does what is expected in an orderly, systematic manner. Wants to follow clear instructions to achieve correct outcomes. So yeah, I got a little bit of that because I think I do want to follow clear instructions, but what is a correct outcome? And I definitely don't do things in an orderly, systematic manner. Then my least amount was adaptable action. I want to see quick results, prefer straightforward, hands-on tasks that can be completed in a short time frame. And like, yeah, those are fun, but there is something about like a long-term project finally like coming in, and I definitely feel like short-term projects, they don't always lead, to where you want them to go. So rewards pattern. This circumflex describes my attitude towards potential rewards that life has to offer. Money, attention, status, power, and achievement. My pattern describes my interest in achieving these awards and my style in pursuing them. So this is my largest one, focused ambition. Desires many things in life and is willing to work hard to get them. Seeks fame and fortune and is persistent in working to increase personal status and achievement. Yep, that sounds like me. My next one... Yeah, this is my second one as well, like the second most. It's pretty close to focused ambition. Dizzy excitement. Enthusiastic but lacking in follow-through. Impulsive and easily tempted by the promise of pleasure and attention from others. Hedonistic and distractible. Yeah, that sounds like me. I think the reason I scored less is that I don't know that I could be better in follow-through, but I'm not completely lacking. But I'm definitely impulsive, and I'm easily tempted by pleasure and attention from others. And I do seek pleasure, and I am so easily distracted. It's not even funny. And then my next two are almost the same. SD got a little bit more than LB. That's how they labeled it. And I will tell you what those labels mean. SD got more than LB. SD got more than LB. It sounds like a STD awareness song, weirdly. So yeah, so my steady drive got more than me being laid back. So driven by a sense of duty, works towards goals out of a sense of responsibility rather than the anticipation of rewards. Persistent even when work is unexciting. So yeah, I think I scored less on this because I'm not always persistent when work is unexciting. I am a little bit driven by a sense of duty, but not too much. And I'm not really working out of a sense of responsibility. Like I'm more about the anticipation of the rewards and how things are going to feel, because obviously, as we've seen in some of the last ones, I'm an emotional person. And then my least one is laid back. Haha, what a surprise. Has little need for excitement or achievement. Yeah, not me at all. Pleasures are low key and often passive, i.e. food, reading, television, uninterested in pursuing status, money, or attention. Yeah, well, that ain't me. Okay. Esteem pattern. This circumflex describes my attitude towards myself and others. My pattern reflects the esteem for myself and for other people. So OA was my second one. Open arms. Is confident in the goodness of self and others. Gives trust freely with no worries of being betrayed. Feels empowered to improve the lives of others. That's that sounds a lot like me. Maybe where I scored a little bit is that my trust is, I usually do give my trust more freely, but I have been burned before, so I don't have the utmost confidence, but I still usually give it, and I usually don't worry about being betrayed, because it's just, that's like a hard space for, I feel like, me personally to live in. Anxious affection. This was my big one. I'm scoring high on anxiety. Oh no. But I rely on others for support and comfort, feels less competent and worthy than others, and works to be helpful and accommodating in order to gain acceptance. Yeah, I would say that sometimes I definitely feel, just especially with my childhood and everything, that I've often felt lacking, or like always just trying to catch up steps like that I will never really be able to catch up on. So it's a bit silly because I was at a disadvantage. But it's weird because I think like sometimes like I think that way, but I don't know in my life, like I might catch up to other people because I'm making a little bit of different choices, but who knows? This one was my least. Take charge. Prefers to rely on own abilities. Sees self as more capable, competent, and intelligent than average. Does what is needed without waiting for others to keep up. Yeah, so I think I got a little bit of this because I will go on without other people, but I do not like to just rely on myself. I really like working in a team, even when it's difficult. There's sometimes like it's way easier. And honestly, having worked in a team this past like year, more so than ever, it's been amazing to see what you can accomplish. And yeah, I definitely don't see myself as like more than others by any means. I know that I'm like different, but I don't think I'm more, you know? And then this is my third one. Lone wolf. Sees people fundamentally weak and untrustworthy. Yeesh, yeah, that's not me. Interactions with others are often unpleasant, tends to suffer alone, believing others will be of no help. I think I do sometimes, and I'm unlearning this pattern of like suffering alone and believing that like no one can help me. Because I am really underestimating the value of just like, even if somebody doesn't have advice, just like expressing feelings. But yeah, I definitely have felt like, like only I can kind of get myself out of most of my problems. So there's that. These are my traits in action. Now we'll look at how my personality traits express themselves in all areas of life, from my daily routine to my relationships and my work life. Each section covers one key area and explains how my individual traits influence my experiences in this aspect of life, my inner life. My personality governs the most fundamental things about you. My personality governs the most fundamental things about me, including how I think, what I value, what motivates me. This section explores how my traits drive my internal life. How does my mind work? I have a highly creative and imaginative way of thinking, and I often see connections that others do not. I am uninterested in the dull facts of a situation, preferring instead to interpret its meaning and implications. I have unusual ideas and sometimes perceive things that other people are not aware of. I am easily absorbed by fantasy and enjoy envisioning alternate realities as well as possibilities for the future. Yeah, sum me up real good. What do I value? My ideal world is a kind, equitable one. Aw. It's true, though. Where people treat each other fairly and with compassion. I value justice and mercy in equal measure, believing that people should be forgiven when it is reasonable to do so. I do my best to make the world a better place, although I also work towards my own personal achievements. I want to distinguish myself, but I do not want to step on any toes to do so. Yeah, this is super me. Wow. I have a genuine love of ideas and value originality, creativity, and imagination. It is important to me to have consistent opportunities to learn new things and improve my mind. I value intellectual challenge, depth of thought, and insight. Because of my interest in enlightenment and novel ideas, I place great value on artistic and cultural endeavors. I believe that the improvement of the mind is an important and worthy goal. Absolutely, I do. Absolutely. What motivates me? I am motivated by achievement as well as by enjoyment. I have some core life goals which I am willing to work hard for. However, I also try to have plenty of fun. I am persistent and driven when it matters, working steady to achieve my plans. However, I am not entirely motivated by achievement. I also want to enjoy the ride. That's very true. Because then what's the point? I don't want to wait to enjoy it. I should enjoy the journey. That's how I feel. I am a person who is filled with enthusiasm and desire. I find many things that seem worth pursuing in this world and go after them with an energetic intensity. So true. I am especially motivated by the promise of social awards, attention, friendship, status, power. Oh yeah, all my favorite things. I get easily excited by possibilities to improve or enhance my social standing, either in my immediate social group or within society as a whole. I am willing to expend quite a lot of energy in the pursuit of thrills. True. I am most motivated when I have the opportunity to create something new. Rote routine tasks are supremely uninterested to me, and I am rarely able to stir up any excitement for activities that are straightforward. That's a little bit true. Finding a routine is a lot for me. However, when I am asked to innovate, I will marshal all of my resources to come up with a novel, original idea. My traits drive the way I relate to others, people in general, as well as friends. Oh, this is my social life. So, my traits drive the way I relate to others, people in general, as well as friends and loved ones. My traits affect the way others see me and what I seek out in connections with others and the common themes that tend to arise for me across all of my relationships. What do I need for my relationships? I love being around people and will seek the company of others most of the time. It's true, especially after this pandemic. While I appreciate close friends, I'm also happy to be in the company of acquaintances or even strangers. Most anyone has something to offer to me. Yeah, that's true. I really believe that. In social settings, I often like to be the center of attention and seek associates who are willing to be a captive audience. That's not always true. I honestly don't always like to be the center of attention. I am energized by people and the possibilities they present, and I seek out others who can join me on my quest for adventure and excitement. But that I super do. I need relationships which are supportive but not overwhelming. True. I expect my friends to be there for me in times of need. Very true. And will happily return the favor. Also very true. However, I also appreciate my independence and I want some element of freedom to do my own thing without getting a group consensus. Oh, absolutely. I can be competitive with my friends and sometimes like to feel challenged by the people around me. I don't feel like that's true for me at all, actually. Ultimately, though, I want a sense of trust and comfort in my relationships. Very true. What kinds of people do you connect with? I tend to seek out relationships with people who I feel will help me grow or learn in some way. I'm not afraid of developing friendships with people who have different views or life experiences, as I'm eager to learn from diverse viewpoints. Very, very true. On the other hand, I avoid people who I perceive as boring, close-minded, conformist. Oops, yeah, I do. People who cannot discuss interesting ideas are of no interest to me. I seek out supportive friendships with a good balance of give and take. I prefer friends who are caring but mostly self-sufficient. Overly needy people will tend to exhaust my kindness. True. I don't think I've really ever met a needy person because I think I've avoided them already. I don't mind being around people who are a bit tough or challenging, but I avoid overly aggressive or selfish people as I'm worried of being taken advantage of. True. What kind of friend am I? I am a caring friend who is concerned with the needs and feelings of those who are close to me. I am supportive when my friends need me, although I rarely allow them to wallow. True, I will not let my friends wallow. I'm the worst at that. I want to enjoy my social time, and I may run out of patience for people who are overly needy. I am good at taking care of relationships while also maintaining boundaries. While I believe in being kind and helpful, I do not believe in being a doormat. True. I may be very accommodating to people I care about, but I rarely let myself be taken advantage of. Yes, I love that for me. I am an energetic, engaged friend who loves to interact and share ideas, thoughts, and feelings. At times, I can be overwhelming to my friends because I am such a dynamic presence. Oops, sorry guys. I electrify situations with my enthusiasm, and I am good at getting people fired up to go out, see the world, and have adventures. I tend to have a wide circle of friends and acquaintances and interact easily with lots of different types of people. True. My work life. The type of work I choose, whether I find it satisfying and even the jobs I'll be talented at are all heavily influenced by my personality traits. Understanding who I am can help me choose a career that suits me. If I've already chosen a career, I can gain a better understanding of the jobs, roles, and workplaces that will suit me based on my personality traits. What do I want out of a career? I seek a job that will allow me to feel successful while balancing my personal life. Although I am ambitious, I do not want an overly demanding career. I still want to be able to earn a good living while still enjoying my free time. My career is an important part of my identity, but not the only part. True. I love that for me. I feel like it's really mature. I seek a job that is consistent with my values and allows me to feel good about what I do each day, while still allowing me a measure of personal success. I probably do not desire to work in a helping occupation such as teaching or nursing, but neither do I want a career that is completely meaningless or worse, actually detrimental to society. I want to use my talents in a way that allows me to achieve success and feel positively about my contribution to the world. I'm actually not against teaching, but I'm squeamish about blood and stuff, so nursing's definitely probably out. I want to get along with my coworkers and appreciate feeling that I have good rapport. I enjoy competition sometimes, but in general, I like a cooperative atmosphere. I think I like a cooperative atmosphere all the time, most of the time. I don't really like to compete, you know? I seek a career that is intellectually challenging and allows me to use the full capacities of my mind. I enjoy working with complex, multi-layered concepts and solving knotty problems. I dislike routine and repetition in my work, and I want the freedom to try new approaches and learn about new things. Because of my need for variety and intellectual growth, I am prone to changing jobs or even careers when I feel like I am stagnating. I am most satisfied with my work when I feel I am able to develop within my career and continually explore new horizons. Yeah, I definitely feel like that's why there's so many hubs in art. What are my natural talents? I'm a highly sociable person who excels at meeting new people, keeping the lines of communication open, and maintaining a wide circle of relationships. I am good at keeping connected with a large team, chatting up customers, and being the face of a company or department. Hire me, please. I am energetic and potentially charismatic, and I do not shy away from positions of prominence. I enjoy social status and attention, and are good at making my achievements known. I am good at thinking about things in novel, creative ways. I will often come up with ideas that are totally unexpected and offer a fresh take on old problems. I am forward-thinking and keep the big picture in mind. I excel at positions that require creativity, imagination, and innovation. I am good at balancing a focus on tasks and a focus on people at work. I'm most likely known as a cooperative teammate, but I do not let my relations at work take priority over doing my job. I prioritize getting my work done, but make sure that I also take time to appreciate the people I work with. I am good at maintaining balance in my workload, putting in extra time when it's needed, and taking the time to relax when I have fewer responsibilities. Although I can be highly productive when I am working on a especially interesting or demanding project, for the most part, I work at a steady pace with ample time for rest. I am not prone to workaholism, but I still do what needs to be done. Oh, I definitely honestly feel like a workaholic, but that's good. I probably am not that much because I definitely have a lot of free time and I have to balance. Like, it makes me work better. I'm a big supporter of that 4-day work week. What kinds of roles and workplaces suit me? I like to work with smart, imaginative, unconventional people in an environment that encourages new ideas. Overly traditional or process-oriented workplaces bore me, as I want to be able to bring originality to my work. I may be drawn to careers in the arts, guilty, technology, the sciences, or in more creative areas and industries of the business world. Whatever I choose, I want a role where my vision is appreciated. I prefer jobs that have a certain level of excitement and allow me plenty of opportunities to interact with other people. My ideal occupation will depend on my interests, but my best choices will be those which require a high level of interaction with others. As a naturally energetic person, I like a workplace that feels busy and exciting. Offices that are quiet or sad will be too dull to motivate me to reach my potential. True. Well, that's me and my personality. We learned a lot about each other, and now we're at the end of the video. But yeah, let me know about your big 5 personality. I would love to get to know y'all and comment it on the comments. What do you think? If you want to see other videos, there's a bunch below. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. Have a good one. Also, feel free to donate if you have the means, because then we'll make movies. All right, bye. Have a good one.